Welcome back, turners. Well, this isn't going to be exactly a wood turning video. It's more just kind of my final thoughts on this Harbor Freight lathe. I'm not going to call this a review. I'm not going to go into any great detail about the lathe itself, but since I've had it a number of years now, and it's about to find its way to a new home, I just thought, I'd share some of my thoughts on, the capabilities and even some of the limits of this lathe. So first of all, I have no regrets having purchased this lathe, and for the service that it's given me. It's been a solid lathe. Again, understanding its limits and capabilities. It's got a 12-inch swing. It's got 33-ish inches on the spindle turning capacity. It has the outboard turning feature for larger, like bowls and platters kind of thing. But again, all within the strength, the horsepower of the 3/4 horsepower motor that it's got on here. You can hardly expect something like this, which is primarily, again, designed for spindle turning, to turn, I don't know, 20-inch or larger bowls or platters. I guess with a lot of patience and really sharp tools you could do it, but it's not really designed for that. I think I've put it through some of its reasonable limits, turning some of the bowls that I've turned. So I've done some 13, 14-inch bowls on here on the outboard. Lidded boxes, vases, just all kinds of things. And I've shared some of those with you over the last couple of years on the various videos. So there are some things you can do to improve the functionality of the lathe, and I've shown you a couple of those in some of the other videos. For instance, the indexing ring that you can get separately. I happened to pick this one up from Penn State Industries, PSI, and it's given me the ability to do some indexed fluting and things like that on various pieces. And it just, it does take up a little room on the headstock spindle. It's, I'm going to say maybe about a little over ½ inch thick, I'm guessing. So it's, it's not a showstopper. I mean, it doesn't take up enough of the threads for it to be a concern. And it does give you that advantage of, being able to do indexing, which it doesn't have, built in on the lathe. So another thing I added, and again, it's not necessary, but just because I wanted to know, how fast was the lathe turning, I added the little LED up here for the tachometer, and I had a video on that, enhancement, we'll call it. And I've enjoyed that. It's been a solid performer. It's still working strong now. So I don't know of any reason why it shouldn't be. But another feature, if you will call it that, is the upgrade to the link belt that I added back in the drive mechanism, the Reeves drive. The link belt has also been solid. I'm still on the same link belt that I installed, way back, and I forget what video number it was. So those are definitely things that help improve, to me, the performance of this lathe. Some people like to bolt these down. I never bolted mine down. I put it on a mobile base, and in fact, I think for my style of turning, the mobile base, which allowed the lathe a little freedom of movement, was actually helpful to me. Is that for everybody? Probably not, but again, it worked for me. And I also just enjoyed the mobility of being able to move the lathe around when I needed to. So as part of the addition for the tachometer, you'll recall that I added the Jet 1236 hand wheel, and again, that was really, I felt it was the best way to mount the Hall effect sensor. Others, smarter people can probably do it, based on stuff internally, but there's not a whole lot of room with the spinny parts inside here, and I didn't want to push my luck. So having that, and then also giving you the capability, it is a little pricey. I think these are running, oh gosh, probably north of 40 $40 or so, maybe $50 these days. So it's it's not really affordable, but it is something. You can probably make one if you needed to. But again, I've enjoyed having that upgrade on the lathe. So these handles, for instance, the tool rest and also for the tailstock, they only come with this little metal rod that's stuck through here, and it's not really comfortable on my hands. I wanted something a little larger I could grip onto, so I turned these wooden, I'll call them overlay handles, that I could slide on over that metal rod and epoxy in place. So this really adds, to me, it's a little bit more leverage because I made it longer than the metal handle, which I think is only a certain amount of the length. So I could get, you don't want to really crank down too hard on these, but you want them snug, so you want some good leverage. And the one on the tailstock as well. Those have been really, to me, very helpful. Another thing is an improvement I did here on the banjo was to I honed this out to be 1 inch. This comes as 25 millimeter, yeah, which is a 0.4 of a millimeter too small to accept standard 1 inch tool rests. So you get more options with the 1 inch tool rest market, I guess. So that was, I took a die grinder and just, honed it out in there. And that's been working really well too. And it's given me, I have other, bowl turning rests and whatnot that I've been able to accommodate now because of that. So in the long run, I felt, this has been a serviceable lathe. I've been able to, work within its, capacity and do a lot with it. You're not going to compare this lathe to, a Grizzly, a Robust, a One-Way, any of the other, huge, professional lathe manufacturers. Laguna, there's a whole bunch of them out there that are really, they're high end, but they're also, they cost high end. And, but would I recommend this for someone looking to get into, an entry level, you're going to learn to do some turning? I would. Yeah, this is, if you can find a good deal on it, find a good one, a good shape on Craigslist or, some other sales site. If they have them on sale at Harbor Freight, and especially if you can use a 25% off coupon like they do on the holidays, I would do it again, but this one now is, as I mentioned in my last video, this one's going to go to a new home. This is going out to a workshop being set up in Globe for use by the San Carlos Apache people. We have a ministry team out there who is opening up a workshop to help teach some woodworking, metalworking type skills, and they needed a wood lathe. I think this is, again, it's a great starter lathe exactly for that kind of a thing. So I just now have to disassemble it and get it ready to go. So again, there's something else coming, and I'll share that with you hopefully soon in another video. So again, I just want to thank you guys for following along with the journey on the Harbor Freight lathe, and the journey will continue on the new one that comes in. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. If you like these videos, remember to give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and you'll see more of my videos in the future, especially, I guess, if you ring that notification bell. And again, just as a reminder, I don't monetize these videos. I don't make any money off of YouTube, and I don't sell anything. So I just appreciate that you guys are interested to watch and follow along. And these are always family friendly and ad free. So thanks again, and we'll see you for the next one.